Briana Aldridge here with Garrett, Podell, CBS sports writer. Thank you so much for joining me because we have a lot to talk about. We finally reached week 1 and the days are going down. But first, I want to just address the contract situation. I feel like I say that every time. But Dak Prescott, he kind of nipped that in the bud. He kind of sounds a lot different than he did just a few days ago.
He did. He talked about how his feelings have changed since last week and that his agent, Todd France, and owner, COO, Stephen Jones, they're working on it. So very different tone than the sort of maybe aggravated Dak Prescott we saw a week ago. So perhaps maybe some optimism that something could get done before week 1 on Sunday against the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, I like the joke he made saying that everyone doesn't feel the same every single day. He just clearly did not want to talk about the contracts. He's very focused on what's ahead, and of course that is the Cleveland Browns. Now, the next question or topic I want to discuss here is CeeDee Lamb, right? We know that's the number 1 wide receiver, but he hasn't been here. So the question is, are they just going to put him at full speed? Doesn't really sound like it. Sounds like they're going to ease their way into it, if you will, and really lean on some of those other weapons they have.
It does. Dak talked about just how his absence has really created openings for other wide receivers. He talked about how much more comfortable he is throwing a number 2 receiver, Brandon Cooks, right? Jake Ferguson and that seam ball over the middle, he loves throwing so much on 3rd and long. That's going to be a factor. And Jalen Tolbert, who Jalen told me earlier this offseason, he spent time with Dak and his family, his girlfriend, his baby daughter, MJ. So there's a lot more chemistry with the other guys. But CeeDee also said, look, every time I was in town during my holdout, he was at the Dak yard. Dak, in case you don't know, has a full-length football field in his backyard in Prosper, Texas. And CeeDee said, perks of having a rich QB is they're still able to get their work in, and CeeDee was able to avoid the team facility to fulfill his holdout, which resulted in the new deal.
Yeah, we got to hear from CeeDee today as well, and he made it very clear he doesn't feel like there's any, drop off with that relationship. Locked and loaded is exactly what he said. And he also was pretty giddy when he was talking about the Cleveland Browns wide receiver, Amari Cooper, who obviously has the connection here with Dallas, and he said he has been in talks with him. How do you think that will kind of transition into, I guess, that competition feel?
Oh, I think it's going to definitely be, who can outdo the other, right? Because when CeeDee was drafted in 2020 as a first-round pick, Amari was clearly established here as the number 1. So I think that's going to be fun. And you look at the matchups for Amari on the Dallas side, you have Trayvon Diggs coming off the ACL. Mike McCarthy told us this morning he would be maybe comfortable with Trayvon Diggs following him around. He didn't go as far as to say, confident, but I think you're ready for that. Kalen Carson on the other side, right? Filling in for Deron Bland, a 5th-round pick, something that Bland himself was a couple of years ago. He might get the assignment, so Amari's really going to be the focus of those guys in the secondary.
Yeah, and it's kind of up in the air it looked like Mike McCarthy didn't want to give too much away on the game plan because it was asked if Trayvon Diggs is going to step in there and, be going against Amari Cooper, or is it going to be more of Kalen Carson that's going to be his job assignment? What do you think we can expect if either one of them jumps in there?
I think it's going to be a mix, and, maybe even it's if he's in the slot, nickel corner, Jordan Lewis, who I talked to on Monday, he said Amari's one of his top 5 route runners in the entire league, one of the best receivers that he's had the opportunity to play with in the NFL. His whole career's been with the Cowboys. And so I think you're going to see a lot of mixing and matching. I think that's the cool thing about Mike Zimmer's defense, right? We've talked all offseason about the disguises and the different pressure looks. And Micah Parsons yesterday said they're going to move me around. Micah might even line up at safety depending on if it gets to 3rd and long.
He did say that.
You might even see Micah Parsons on him. I would doubtful, but you never know in this Mike Zimmer kind of mix and match defense.
Yeah, it's just like, they have rookies stepping into big assignments. It's a road game. It's a team that they don't really plan against a lot because they haven't played this team in so long. Michael Parsons says it's actually my first time going to Cleveland outside of the draft. So it's just a lot of unknowns, but I think that's what makes it so exciting for week 1. What are you looking forward to the most? What are your eyes going to be on there in this first week 1 matchup?
I think for me, what's most important for Dallas is can rookie Tyler Guyton and rookie Cooper Beebe stay ahead of this Cleveland defensive line? You've got Myles Garrett, the reigning defensive player of the year, on the other side, blocking there. And Tyler Smith talked today about how comfortable and confident Guyton is because of the preparation they've put in, and how Zach Martin, who we also spoke to today, kind of sets that example for everybody. And so Guyton feels comfortable in his routine because he's following Zach Martin's routine and Tyler Smith's routine. And those are a couple all-pro, Pro Bowl players. And so having that kind of experience in addition to the youth, I think the youth in Guyton and Beebe feel ready to go when they play Garrett, because that's really where I think this game's going to be decided, because Dallas wants to throw the ball with Dak and CeeDee.
Yeah, a lot to look forward to. Super excited. Again, this is only week one. There's such a long season to go. This is going to be a young group with some big tasks. That's going to be it for now for Briana Aldridge, for Garrett Podell, CBS Sports Texas.